So, good morning and welcome everyone to today's webinar session. Uh, we will focus on the topics around PLM and ERP and discuss a bit around their respective role in modern manufacturing enterprises. Uh, First and foremost, I need to introduce myself. So my name is Tom Johansson, for those of you who don't know me. Uh, I work in the Nordic Sales and Marketing Department here at PLS Vision. So my location is Stockholm. I've been at PLS Vision for 6 years now, I think even a bit more in various sales roles. And my contact information, you'll find it here, and you will find it at the end of today's session as well. As Carolina said, please use the chat and for any general questions or the question tab, and I will ask Carolina to shout them out to me as I actually can't see them during my presentation. Good. Let's get going on today's topic. So this is really what today's webinar will be about: PLM and ERP and their respective role within enterprise manufacturing. And as you can see, that is so that companies that have processes that span both between PLM and ERP solutions are 1.5 times more likely to be successful or to be best in class. And in today's world, designing the best product is simply not enough. It's a very complex environment, and companies are meeting more and more challenges than ever to stay competitive. So designing the best product, as I said, it's not enough anymore. You see, there are increase in complexity of products. We have a lot of the product variants. There are supply chain disruptions, logistics, service of products, and all of that has created a whole new reliability to control and own your enterprise master data. And these are competitive challenges that must be met by you as a manufacturer. But you also have to meet these competitive challenges whilst you're controlling cost, you're contending with supply chain disruptions, and you're responding to demand fluctuations. So to help you to address these demands, there are both new and, of course, maturing software technologies that are involving you to realize and helping you to realize the digital transformation and the creation of a digital thread. And to achieve that goal, the goal of a digital thread and to do the digital transformation, we cannot anymore rely on progress taking place in siloed approaches. We cannot rely on siloed approaches that are driven by different stakeholders within your company. They are driven in different departments of the organization and not really shared across the whole value chain of your organization. So improvements that are made by overall digital transformation comes from cross-functional alignment with the overall business strategy of your company. So working together and tying together data and processes across your company and across the manufacturing support systems. So talking about manufacturing support systems, today we're going to talk about two of these manufacturing support systems, and perhaps, and in most cases for a manufacturing company, the two most important systems. And then, of course, I'm talking about PLM and ERP, or Product Lifecycle Management and Enterprise Resource Planning systems. So before diving into that, I would like to take you back a little bit to quickly present the historical perspective. I think it's quite important to understand where both of the systems come from and where the foundational ground lays at both ERP and PLM systems. So ERP systems, they evolved from the understanding of the benefits of having a single source enterprise-wide software solution. ERP systems were developed in the 1990s, where this value was realized by major manufacturing companies, that really saw that the value of sharing data between functional areas instead of in siloed approaches. So ERP grow from that realization in different areas of the manufacturing companies, such as in operations, in distribution, logistics, inventory, shipping, and nevertheless accounting solutions. And once these grew together to a single enterprise-wide software solutions, or a single source software solution, that is what today has become ERP. A bit of curiosity there is that during the 1990s alone, companies invested more than $300 billion worth of ERP solution. That's quite a lot of money. PLM, on the other hand, PLM came a little bit later than ERP. It arose during the early 2000s, where enterprises realized that they needed a better way of managing the increased amount of CAD data that were generated in the design process. So the realization of that engineering data and CAD data could be reproduced to help optimize design, shorten time to market, and streamline that throughout the enterprise and between functions that needed the engineering information. That's what really evolved into PLM. So today PLM is used to leverage data generated in the product design phase. It's used to accelerate innovation. It's used to improve efficiency, and especially it's not only used in the engineering department anymore, but it's used throughout the entire operations within the enterprise. Good. The reason why I wanted to take you guys a bit back into an historical perspective of both systems was to highlight that PLM and ERP, they both originates from different disciplines, and originating from different disciplines, they have had different goals, and hence they have evolved in different ways and with different speeds. So one, for example, example of this is that ERP is highly transactional. So if we're talking monetary wise, companies rely on ERP to understand financial status and ordering, for example. So ERP is very, very important for many of the manufacturing companies' management to understand the financial situation and financial data. This has also led to that PLM and ERP, until recent years, when they've taken these different approaches, have existed side to side within manufacturing companies as separate entities. And that is not something that we can go on forever. Today we need modern integrations to embrace what we call the digital transformation, or Industry 4.0. It's a necessity for PLM and ERP systems to communicate, as they both play a very critical role in manufacturing companies. Some examples of integration deliverables are manufacturing bill of materials, you get process plans, numerical control, etc. This is a slide that really showcases the historical view of ERP and PLM's role within the organization. So today, in order to embrace digital transformation, or if you want to call it Industry 4.0, PLM and ERP needs to communicate, as each system plays a critical role for manufacturing companies. So both systems are pillars to manufacturers, but they need to communicate. ERP, for instance, rely on information of the products, such as product bill of materials, which is all supplied by PLM. And there has been, and still is, a lot of time spent by enterprises to connect the two systems, to unifying data in product development and deliver that throughout the enterprise. The next step will then be, of course, to connect these areas through the digital thread process of the new product innovation. And that will mean that you will have faster response to demand, faster response to the market, increase value and increase innovation, and establish a closed loop of information. So both PLM and ERP plays a critical role, and a proper coordination and calibration of these roles of each system can add value beyond what either one of these systems can do and can deliver as standalone applications. Good. But to understand PLM and ERP's role within manufacturing enterprises, we shall start by looking at the strength of each of the systems and the challenges that ERP and PLM are being used to solve today. So, as we all know, global competition has intensified quite a lot during the last couple of decades. The key in today to get your product and innovation to the market first without compromising on product quality. And that is something that's very tough today in today's competition without having integrated processes and systems. Manual handovers of data and data duplication in ERP is one of the challenges that manufacturers are facing today. That's something that in most cases it degrades quality as well as increasing cost and lead times, which is also challenges as of today. Manual handovers and data duplication also results in mismatches. It's decreasing level of collaboration. It increases the risk of missing your targets, and it creates poor traceability with limitations to scale. So here are some other examples of challenges facing manufacturers today, and that are challenges that when systems are not integrated, for example, engineers must do triple work. They're entering the same data in PLM, in ERP, and in sometimes even in even more systems than that. So the probability and size of quality problems that are impacted of this lack of traceability are tremendous. For example, manufacturers might have to recall a window of possibly suspect products. And if they don't know what configuration they were shipping on that given day, that's a problem. That's a challenge. So too many sources of information that results in low quality and low efficiency. Challenges, of course, also include that manufacturers today need to increase productivity, improve asset utilization, product quality. Products are being more and more complex. There are more variations in products. You need to speed up your time to market. We have the globalization of the market, so coordination of global teams is a big challenge faced today. You have sustainability initiatives, regulations and compliance initiatives, etc. But common with all of these challenges is that both PLM and ERP can be and are part of solving these challenges. So these are some challenges faced by manufacturing companies today. Now let's have a look at to understand the strengths of each of the systems, PLM and ERPs. So strengths of ERP systems. So ERP was, as said, developed in response to standalone applications. Standalone applications that were used alone in different departments, and that of course caused major inefficiencies in the business operations. ERP was particularly developed in response to supply chain disruption. In supply chain management, you depend on a smooth and reliable flow of materials and data from function to function and between functions. So without the ownership of this data, enterprises couldn't plan and schedule resources properly. That leads to inventory overages, it leads to shortages of part and finished products. So in response to that, ERP was developed, and it's designed to link all key operational functions and departments. So it's grown from handling financial software products and materials, and are focused on ERP is primarily focused on the physical asset and the flow of materials within the company. In material wise, ERP is very strong. The physical asset and the reoccurring transactions are something that ERP deals with very well. So it's focused on planning and accounting for production, collect data and collect all information that is necessary for production. So some of the common attributes of ERP, where ERP is very strong, is repeated transaction, inventory, orders, flat bill of materials to produce, released versions, order and supply, etc. PLM, on the other hand, PLM arose from the need of an increased support within product design. And as we all know, product design these days are highly digital. So PLM is digital focused. And the need for optimizing design and collaboration, especially as said on a global level, and to share that data in real time is what lay the foundation of a PLM system. Especially since data generated in the process of developing products that had to be captured, updated, and accessible to all team members in the right context and in the right time. This is especially important as it's widely reported that 80% of a product's cost is determined in the early stages of product design. So strengths of PLM, of course, strengths of PLM is many, but PLM is really about capturing the digital data and the ability to make changes early in the process of designing your products. And that's something that changed the game and makes visibility for better informed decision much higher, and that results in tremendous savings when compared to late stage changes as explained. So PLM, as said, it's digital focused. It's focused on innovation in creation, design, and flexible products. PLM is strong within change management. It's strong in handling your full product structure, or what we call bill of materials of your products. It's strong in the reuse of data, in delivering manufacturing deliverables to the ERP system, and within quality. That's some of the strengths of PLM, and of course we can have a lot of discussions of PLM and the strengths of PLM. So discussing around the two systems, challenges facing manufacturers today, and as the sort of history nerd that I am, I've also taken you down a bit on the historical road to better understand the background and uprise of these two enterprise systems. And as you all might know, and so PDS Vision is the provider of Windchill, the market leading PLM solution in the world. So you might feel that we're a bit biased in these discussions, and we may be, of course. But I would like to conclude that it's not a question about either or when it comes to PLM and ERP. It's about where and when to store and manage data to best support your business operations. So both systems are crucial for manufacturing enterprises. Once again, both have a critical role to play, and these roles can add value beyond what either one of these systems can do and deliver alone. And that highlights that cross-functional transformation needs to take place for you to retrieve that full value of your PLM and ERP solutions. So to gain the speed and synergies, you as a manufacturer should rethink your automation stack and establish collaboration platforms. And this will require that PLM is incorporated early in the product innovation stage, and that everything that matters in product development and manufacturing is connected essentially to the digital thread. So connecting the two systems, PLM and ERP, with each of the system's independent strengths and connecting that through the digital thread, that will mean that your company will be future ready in a growing and more competitive market. And companies doing so, they will move from a point-to-point state of work to work in real-time integrations. So leading companies are doing this. They are moving to working in real-time integrations. They're aligning their processes and people from the initial state of product development and throughout manufacturing, device connectivity, and field service. So making sure that they are providing access to the right data at the right time and in the right context for the right people. And that is something that's crucial to stay competitive in today's landscape. And this data that I'm talking about, it's all data that should be stored and managed in both PLM and ERP. And to give you one example of this, manufacturing engineers, they are of course generating vital data for your company. It's ranging from manufacturing bill of materials or MBOMs to process planning, quality control, and work instructions for assembling your products. And this phase of engineering plays a role not only within product development and the manufacturing value chain, but also in the supply chain logistics value chain, and it's ensuring that your products is delivered on time and on cost. So that is one example of where cross-functional transformation is needed to share master data across the functions and across the value chain. And yeah, equally important and vital is the synchronization of changes, of course, within or across the product lifecycle. So it needs to be synchronized between downstream manufacturing operations and upstream towards engineering. So while traditionally the management of production engineering data and processes had found its home in the ERP system, and then maybe been passed to the MES system, we've seen a shift where the increased complexity and rate of change that requires has transitioned this into PLM system. So and flows the data downstream to the product innovation team. And this is a shift that's been ongoing, and it has led to a view where PLM feeds the data to ERP. So in traditionally, the ERP solutions, they've had to wait until product designs and process plans, definitions, and so are done before they are entered in and shared between functions and suppliers in the ERP system. But instead, if you're enabling a digital thread and a connection between PLM and ERP, you can now streamline these processes. You will have a higher quality of data. You will have an increased efficiency in quality and, of course, in design and collaboration. So the ideal integration that provides a bi-directional framework which allows the release of PLM deliverables that are required by ERP. So, for example, material requirements found in the manufacturing bill of material or the MBOM. That is ideally created in PLM and then released into ERP without human intervention. Because PLM will allow all rows to work concurrently and collaborative and address issues before production even begins. And that results, of course, in time and expense saving and higher quality of your products. So managing the right data in the right tool with a common product master data approach is what will be key for you as a manufacturer. So the question to really ask and consider for any company are, where is the master data stored? And of course that question is tough. It's hard and it doesn't come with easy answers. So it needs to be followed up by a number of follow-up questions, of course, such as, where does your organization see your key product innovations, or where do you see that the most of your product cost is coming for, or where do you find efficiency opportunities? But the key here is really to to ask yourself, where is the master data stored today and why is it stored where it's stored? So the digital thread to deliver some financial and operational value. This is just to provide some metrics of what I'm really the message I'm delivering here. And the metrics of why connecting systems to the digital thread is so important. So there are many opportunities, for example, in service optimization. And as you see here, it's really the end customer benefiting from service optimization that leads to improved competitive differentiation from your competitors and customer loyalty and so through service. And these are value that comes out based on research done by PTC and analysis that done research on hundreds of PTC customers, and so shows potential value of creating a digital thread and connecting systems. So we have now determined the PLM and ERP's role. So getting started, then how do you move forward? Well, the first step of connecting the two systems is really to understand where your product master data is. That is the most important question to ask yourself today. Then, of course, you need to clean it, and you need to determine where your master data should be stored. And all this should be taking place so that you avoid having multiple systems mastering the same data at any given time. From our point of view, the principal approach to this is that engineering data that flows downstream, and it's about having the right people do the right work in the right system. We don't want them to work in different systems, and we don't want them to do duplicate work. The second step is to create a seamless integration that allows processes to flow between the systems. So, for example, manufacturing planners that need access to the most up-to-date data information from engineering, they should find that data in PLM, and engineering needs real-time feedback from manufacturing. That connection should then be established from ERP to PLM. So PLM feeds data to ERP, and ERP also feeds data back to PLM. Another example is cost information about the products. That's something that's owned by the ERP system. The third step, of course, then, which only comes when cross-functional initiatives such as PLM and ERP integrations are already established, is to utilize the data that flows between the two systems. The benefits are of course many in doing so, from analyzing time and quality of execution to connecting assets and connecting work cells. So PLM and ERP, both systems plays a critical role for manufacturing companies. ERP owns the data around the physical asset, whilst PLM owns data around the digital asset or the intellectual asset. And the combination and ability to drive cross-functional transformation initiatives around PLM and ERP and connect those initiatives via the digital thread, that is what eventually will generate your master data management approach. So from the beginning here, Windchill, designed as the first web-based PLM solution that provides the openness and needs the need for integration to systems like ERP and other solutions. I want to say that in Windchill you'll find a system that will complement your existing ERP system, and it will help you to master the production. Windchill then of course also have out-of-the-box integrations to major ERP solution and are ready to connect to any type of ERP really. Then of course we also have integrations to PTC's industrial IoT platforms such as ThingWorx, where you will be able to create the digital thread from design to the shop floor and vice versa. I will conclude here, but as said, for us it's not really a question about either or when we're talking PLM and ERP. It's rather a question of where and when to store data in order to best support your business and organization. So with that being said, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. You should be able to scan this QR code if marketing didn't promise me too much, or of course you're more than welcome to reach out on my email address. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom, for a great presentation.
Thank you.
So now it is time for Q&A. Please, if you have any questions, feel free to put that in the chat or in the Q&A tab. That's up to your right. But we can start with one question we have, and it is, should one implement ERP before PLM?
I think it's a really tricky question because both systems are vital for manufacturing companies, and they both play individually. They play important roles. But really, PLM is about product design, and that's for manufacturing companies. That's where you're starting. You're starting by designing a product and getting that out on the market as quickly as possible. But you also need, of course, supply chain information about cost and production. So it's a tough question. I think if you're in that spot, that you're really considering, shall we go with PLM or ERP, you're in a great place because you can do it right from the beginning with both systems. Of course, I will say that PLM is important to get the products out on the market, which should be the focus for a startup company. But it's a great place to be. So I would like to take that discussion with you.
And we have the next question, and it is, what does one start looking for when looking at the topic of integrating the systems?
Yeah, that's also an interesting question, of course, and it's tricky. You can be in the position of the person that asked me the earlier question, where you're in the beginning and you can basically do a basic integration from start, or you're in another situation where your company is full of legacy data and you've been around doing business for 50 plus years. And of course that increases the complexity of connecting these two systems, both containing vital data for your company. But what I would really say is that the first step towards connecting the systems is to ask yourself, where do you store your master data today, and where would you like your master data to be stored? The question should be around your master data approach and making sure that the master data is stored in one place and one place only, so that it stays updated, it stays up to date, and it's not creating any duplicate work. Everyone should know where to find the data and find it in the right context and in the right place. So I would say start by discussing internally with internal stakeholders, not only within product innovation or and the engineering department, but also through supply chain, logistics, and manufacturing, and ask yourself where do you store your master data today, and where is it ideally stored in your company.
Great. So thank you, Tom. That was all questions we had today.
Thank
If
you.
you're curious about the presentation and would like to have it, you have a materials tab up to your right where the presentation from today is located. So with that, I would like to thank you, Tom, again for this presentation, and thank you everybody for attending as well. So we will see you soon.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
everybody. Bye.